Boeheim is notorious for, ESPN and some other media outlets portray him a certain way. Can you tell us a few funny Boeheim stories that you had during the time you were there?
Well, my first funny story about him is I never felt comfortable driving with him. He just drives crazy, like he's just always just focused on basketball and all this stuff that's going. I mean, cars will be cutting around him, he'll be going through stop signs and stuff like that. So finally, I think we were I believe we were playing Boston College, and a game day, he's so full of adrenaline and everything. I think he forgot to stop, and he ran right into the back of the car. And from that was like I believe that was my freshman year, or the beginning of my sophomore year. And from that day on, we never let him drive again. Like we would come from the airport and get rental cars and rental vans, and that was the end of letting him drive. So to this day, I always talk about his driving. Like he'd go through, he'd be on a curve and go 50 miles an hour and stuff on game day or something. He's never stopped thinking about basketball, even to the point where when he's driving, he'll turn his head and say, but this is about, he's so focused. I mean, basketball is his life, it just makes us laugh all the time. Or sometimes we'll be in a locker room and say, we're having a bad half or something, and he'll be yelling at us. And he'll say stuff that doesn't make any sense at all. We're all like at each other, but nobody wants to tell him what he just said. Nobody understands. It's just something you get used to, we laugh at later and stuff. And then we'll tell them, like, after the game when we win and stuff, they say, you said this. Well, you guys know what I meant. You got to love him, man.
So along those lines, what is the funniest thing that he ever said to somebody when you guys were in the huddle?
Okay, well, Sonny's going to get mad at me, but to this day, we still laugh about it. I don't know if you remember Michael Adams from Boston College.
I do, yep.
One of the quickest guards you ever want to guard. I mean, from baseline to baseline with the ball, I don't think I've ever seen anybody quicker than him, And we were playing him, and then I guess he had told Sonny to pick him up at half court, but for some reason, Sonny was intent on picking him up from baseline to baseline. So after Michael Adams zoomed past him, and everybody's trying to switch the catch and all these mismatches because Michael Adams done left two guards in the back court, Boeheim calls a timeout and tells Sonny, you couldn't guard him if we was in a phone booth, back up at half court, and we all just died. And then looked at Sonny had like, just give me one more chance and I'll show you I could do it. But, that was at the phone booth, the little box.
Yeah.
Told Sonny he couldn't guard